What's going on, motivators? We got another video. We got to talk about major blow to California law from Gavin Newsom trying to ban masks on ICE agents. Let's get into this.
ICE agents can continue to wear masks and will not have to show visible ID after a state law was blocked.
The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals issued the ruling, which is now being reviewed by the state's attorney general. News 8's Tori Apodaca live down.
I mean, Newsom is just a scumbag. No matter how you look at it, he's a scumbag.
The attacks on our nation's law enforcement continue to ramp up, and California is now the first state to ban ICE agents from wearing masks while on duty. Here's Governor Gavin Newsom seemingly taunting those officers.
Unmarked cars, people in masks, people quite literally disappearing, no due process, no rights in a democracy where we have rights. Immigrants have rights, and we have the right to stand up and push back, and that's what we're doing here today. This is a disgrace. This is an outrage, what we have allowed to happen in this country. ICE, unmask. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of?
So what are the agents afraid of? Maybe what you're looking at, the 1,000.
Again, we could see these people are so disingenuous. You could hear it in their voices that they are. In that he still won't differentiate between illegal migrants and legal migrants. ICE is not going after illegal migrants. They're going after the people who came into the country illegally, and we still don't know who they are. That's the ones they're going after. This guy, and he won't even talk about why do they have masks. Because you have the crazy people on the left, right? I said crazy. The crazy people on the left who are trying to dox those ICE agents. ICE agents are no different from a federal agent. They're no different from a military member. They're no different than a police officer. Just got a different job. That's all it is. They're American citizens who are working day in, day out to protect us, the citizens. And some people may say whatever, that some people may have got killed. Well, yes, there are always bad apples or situations happen eventually in any law enforcement. Any. Name me one law enforcement group that has not had a casualty. Name me one. I will wait for that. But overwhelmingly, ICE is doing a fantastic job as far as taking the people who came into this country illegally out. But he won't tout that because he's a scumbag.
1,000% increase of attacks they've been seeing. That's according to DHS. And many of those attacks are coming at the hands of protesters who themselves are wearing masks. Acting U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California, Bill Saley, points out that hypocrisy and asks this: when can we expect California to pass a law banning Antifa members from wearing masks while committing state and federal crimes? I'll wait. Makes a really great point, Molly.
But here's the thing, though. Newsom will never do that because they're on the side of the agitators. Why is that? Why is that our government is always on the side of the people who cause harm to the community and never on the people who are just living their regular lives? Why is that?
And ICE agents already have to identify themselves. They are wearing ICE clothing.
Well, I really don't love the idea of police officers wearing masks. It doesn't seem American. These people work for us. We should know who they are. We should have them clearly identified. But for Gavin Newsom to be out there not talking about why they're wearing masks, which is you have incredibly well-funded, well-organized terrorist organizations going after people who work at ICE and their families, that's the problem. Like, he's talking about all these people who have rights, and he doesn't mention the citizens of this country have rights as well.
I will tell you why. You have special forces who go out and they still block their faces so the enemy won't know what they are. People on the left was not trying to dox those ICE agents and go to their homes because they're American citizens and they're trying to get them killed or try to put them in bad situations. They wouldn't get to cover their faces. But I also ask this question. It's just not recently they've been covering their faces. They covered their faces during the Biden administration, during the Obama, the reporter-in-chief. They were doing the same thing then. Why wasn't there a cry out for it?
State's Attorney General. News 8's Tori Apodaca live downtown to explain what happens next year. Tori?
Yeah, many California leaders saying that the fight is not over yet, but right now, because that ruling is under review, California cannot require those federal agents to wear IDs. The Trump administration argued that the law would threaten the safety of those federal agents who are already facing harassment, and that it goes against the Constitution because the state is trying to regulate the federal government. This was just one of the laws California brought forward last fall after the immigration enforcement ramped up back in June. The other law banning federal agents from wearing masks. The Trump administration sued California in November over both of these laws. Then, a federal judge blocked the mask ban law in February, and a lower court struck it down too. But the judges said that they would be more open to a law that banned masks for all law enforcement officers, not just federal ones. A new California bill attempts to revive the mask restrictions by also applying them to state troopers.
And that's the thing, though. That is so true. This is a federal agency. The local state law has nothing to do with that. Just like Minnesota, they're talking about they're going to sue and they're going to arrest federal agents. They cannot. By rule, they cannot.
California lawyers who support these laws say people are more likely to attack officers in self-defense if there's no visible ID on them, confirming that they are law enforcement. And California attorney.
All right, I'm all for having some kind of ID on them. Their mask, I really don't care about. Because you don't want anybody to just, pose as a police officer, right? So if they have their chest plate on and it says ICE on it or police, go ahead, do your thing, right? All day, every day. There's no different from FBI having their little funnel jackets on and it says FBI. So put something on says ICE. Immigration enforcement, I don't care. Have that on, carry on.
Attorney General Rob Bonta's office is reviewing this ruling, and Governor Gavin Newsom's press office did post on X about this ruling, saying that it will continue to fight the federal government for this and demand accountability.
The Justice Department challenged that law, claiming that it was a threat to the safety of officers. A federal appeals judge said the California law was essentially the state trying to regulate the federal government, which would violate the Constitution's supremacy clause.
Anyway, we all could see what's going on right here. Gavin Newsom, he's a scumbag. He's trying to be in a position where he could subvert the Constitution and be in charge of federal agents. That in itself cannot happen, right? That's why he's being struck down right now, because there are rules and regulations in the country. And he's also trying to tout and tug at the American people's heartstring by just saying immigrants. No one is against immigrations or immigrants. The idea is there are legal and illegal immigrations. ICE is there to take the illegal people out. The ones who came in here illegally, through the back door. Some of them are criminals. Some of them are sex offenders. Some of them are just pure, you came in without papers. Right? That's who they're trying to get out. So at the end of the day, there are rules and regulations in the United States that need to be followed. Again, all this thing is just propaganda. That's why he hasn't responded to it, because he knows it's a losing matter. Anyway, let me know what you think inside the comments. All right, motivators, if you enjoy what you've seen and heard, please like, comment, share, but most importantly, subscribe to A Black Veteran's Perspective. Stay motivated.